Okay, guys, so you should have your three questions here. Hopefully, they're not just yes or no's. If they are, that's fine. But hopefully, what you're trying to aim for are those open-ended responses, the ones that are going to make you force you to have to elaborate. And with that, you would go ahead and say, okay, you know what, I like this concept here, and I can really elaborate on that. That's going to be, I'm going to have to form this into one of my reasons. You know, I can really elaborate on how it's going to affect the economy. I'm going to make that into one of my reasons. You know, will it bring more jobs? I can bring work that into my reasons. So here you could take a look at it, look at your questions, maybe even some of your responses, and say, you know what, these I can form into decent reasons for my thesis statements. Once again, not the biggest, not the most favorite choice of brainstorming for some students, but because they have difficulty coming up with questions. And for them, it might be a little bit more work, but in the long run, it might actually help you build the rest of your paper because you're doing, especially if you're answering the questions, you're doing a lot of the legwork that's going to happen in your body paragraph. So you kind of kill two birds with one stone with this one. The downside to this of the thesis is that you'd have to go inform your actual reasons. Once again, it's not going to give it to you nice and pretty where you would plug it in. You'll have to create the actual subject verb to plug into your thesis. But that, you know, this is perfect when you're dealing with longer writing assignments where you actually have time to do that. Okay? So, with all that we covered today, we covered T-charts, okay? We covered bubble map. We covered, there's the bubble map, sorry. We covered fast write, okay? And we covered questioning. Okay? And there's a lot more. There are different types of brainstorming activities depending on the type of essay you're going to be writing, depending on the time you're going to have to write that essay, and also depending on what you find to appeal or what appeals more to you. For instance, Ms. V, I like it straight and to the point, usually T-chart. There's no playing around with that. Here are my reasons. Let's go. I like these especially when it comes to timed essays, just because you don't have the time to sit down and fast write, as you know, fast write all your ideas, or you don't have the time to create questions and answer your questions to then later have to create your thesis. But that one's the one I really love for timed essays, especially with the TSI. Like I said, you have 5 hours, but you don't want to be there all 5 hours, okay? You know, some kids like the bubble map. A lot of my kiddos seem to like the fast write, especially when we have a little bit more time to kill with the essays. Because this really does, if you do it right, it really sparks ideas that you can use for your body paragraphs as well, not just for your thesis. And the same thing goes for the questioning. Not only does this help with your thesis, if it's done correctly, it really helps you build examples and concepts for your body paragraphs later on. Okay? So, with that said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the activities we practiced, any of the brainstorming activities we practiced today, go ahead and write them down on your interactive journal. If you don't want to write on your journal, put them on a sticky note and stick them where you have your questions or concerns, and we can address them on Tuesday. Hopefully you didn't learn from scratch these brainstorming. These are brainstorming activities you should know from elementary, but refresh your memory on them a bit. Questioning might be new to you, but the rest shouldn't. It shouldn't. So yeah, that's brainstorming 101. Hopefully you learned, like I said, you refreshed your memory, and we will continue tomorrow with the introduction, okay? All right. Have a good day, guys. Do the homework. Check Edmodo. I put up a new homework assignment on there. It's going to be due, I don't remember to be honest with you, but it's on Edmodo, the due date. Make sure you write that down on your planner. All right. Bye.